Hey everybody, welcome to the show, and it's time for us to get ready for the England tour and the England series. It's a type of series that I think can be very important to South Africa's motivation and the building of the team chemistry and the growing of the side. It's also a very interesting game, I think, between the two sides because we've got England that is kind of a new look side with a couple of experienced players thrown in between them. I would say they are trying to find their own identity and their way of playing, and they want to also play this attacking brand of cricket. And then we've got South Africa after some interesting quotes from Ashwell Prince, which I'm going to read out on the show a little bit later. So I'm also going to perhaps just give you guys some stats that I also have compiled. We did do a written preview on cricketfanaticsmag.com if you guys want to go read it there as well. But I think it's important that I read some of Ashwell Prince's quotes out for you guys. And I read you that story that we wrote on the website because I think that will give you guys some nice insight into the mentality that we have in the side. And it's so important to hear sometimes from the coaches, that what they think and what their thoughts are going into the series and what they think of our squad. So I'm going to be going through all of those quotes as well as Pete Puerta. Maybe perhaps I'll go through some of his quotes and the story that we did there as well, and also show you the team because there has been one new addition to the squad that it was added today. And then we'll also go through the Temba Bavuma press conference. I think that's important as well to get his thoughts and what he thinks heading into this match. He's our captain in the ODI side. So it's important for us to actually have a listen to what he has to say and maybe react to that live on the show. And I'm starting 15 minutes earlier, but I think there's a lot of content to get through. And I also still want to get to the last hour of the transfer market in the Premier League to know what's happening with regards to signings for Man United, etc., and in other parts of in the football scene. So before we get started, there are a couple of things I'd like you guys to first do, and that is subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell for all future videos. Please smash the like button, and don't forget to also comment in the comment section after we've ended the stream. It's very important that you guys leave me your comments and your teams. I want to see what you guys would do given the squad, how you would set up the team. That would be really important to know as well. I'm really interested to see what you guys think of that, and maybe what you think about the comments that I read out today as well. I would like to know what you think there too. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. I'm looking forward to discussing all of this with you guys and getting your thoughts on it and what you guys think of the series. Are you excited or you're not excited, etc. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your preview show. I'm your host, Khalid, and this is the show where we're going to be discussing the ODI series as a whole. This is my ODI preview for the entire ODI series against England. Because the games are so short, with a short rest in between, it just makes sense for me to review the entire ODI series and what I would like to see in the series. So, obviously, fresh from this win against Australia, we now shift our focus now to England. And obviously, the aim from a Shukri Conrad perspective is to now sharpen this team. It's a very busy season with a lot of T20s being played. So you want to sharpen this team as much as possible and get as much game time to as many people as you can, and try to fill in those missing voids as well. I know that the victory against Australia it really showed us our resilience, and it really showed there was a lot of like amazing turning points and good starts in the match. Um, but we need to now turn those starts into like match defining innings and finding consistency in key positions, particularly as well. Because I mean, there is this type of blueprint that I feel that South Africa want to play with by. And I'm going to get into the comments of Ashwell Prince to give us a little bit more context on that. But overall, we are going to be playing against a dangerous team, I would say, in England. Harry Brook captains the side, and you've got the likes of Josh Butler in there, Joe Root, Ben Duckett. And then you've got some new guys as well. But the return of Jofra Archer is also going to be very key to them. He's a very dangerous quick bowler as well. And it's going to be interesting how we face someone like him while keeping our intent-driven approach that we want to try and push. And there are some new faces in the English side like Rian Ahmad or Ahmed and Jacob Bethel. They could have both. This could be a series that they stand up, and we know that South Africa is always the team that certain players seem to start their careers off or kickstart their careers off against us. With regards to the records and the context of this particular match, we've played 56 matches on English soil. That's on English soil, and the Proteas won 22 matches and lost 28. And then 2 games have been tied with 4 no results. And obviously, a win over here would obviously grow our confidence and mark another step forward for like how we want a revolution or we want a white ball evolution. We're kind of in that space right now where we're trying to rebuild our brand and our culture within the squad. So when I look at the last 5 games from a South Africa perspective in England, and I'm going now from the latest match to the oldest match. The last match in England that we played was a no result. And then we lost, then we won, then we lost, then we won, and we had 2 losses. So it's kind of swaying towards England from that regard. They've obviously are the ones that have won more matches at home than we have. But that 22 wins in England, it should give us a little bit of hope that we can maybe continue that. For me, the players to watch in this ODI series will be Ryan Rickle and Aiden Markram. Can they finally click as an opening partnership? Then Matthew Bretsky, of course, I'm always excited to see him bat. And he's currently very in form. I mean, I don't think he's missed yet in ODI cricket. And he wants to obviously prove that number 4 spot is his own. Tristan Stubbs, it's time for him to be backed to play with freedom. I know he's been back to play with freedom. Ashwell Prince backs him and Shuki Conrad does. And it's now time. Maybe this could be his breakthrough series where he can show us that Tristan Stubbs of old that we know he can be. It's great that we got Kagiso Rabada returning to spear the attack. In England, he averages 35 with 19 wickets in 15 matches and an economy of 5.11. So he's had a very good time in England. And I think Lungengidi as an experienced bowler as well will be key. Controlling England's middle overs, of course, and trying to take those wickets when the opposition least expects it, and we all least expect it. And then we got that wild card in Temba Bavuma, who is currently playing with a lot of confidence and freedom, and I wanted to see him continue doing that. So we play the first match on the 2nd of September in Headingley at 2 South African Standard Time. I wish it was earlier because this is like my entire day gone at evening. I'm not really going to have an opportunity to really like rest here because my mind doesn't shut off when it's been overstimulated. So I hope I can sleep. Then the second ODI is on September 4 at Lords, 2 South African Standard Time. And the third ODI is September 7, the Rose Bowl, 12 South African Standard Time. Then when it comes to the squad, I'm just going to give you guys the squad again because I'm not sure if you guys, some of you might not have seen it, but here is the squad. It's Temba Bavuma captain, Aiden Markram, Ryan Rickleton, Matthew Bretsky, Tony Dezorzi, Deva Brevis, Tristan Stubbs, and Luander Pretorius. All-rounders are Corbin Bosch, Shannon Mutasami, Vian Mulder. Seamers are Nande Burger, Lungengidi, Kagiso Rabada, Quina Mapaka, and Cody Yusuf has been added to this squad now. And in the spinning department, it is Keshav Maharaj. So that is the squad, guys. And I like it. I mean, I kind of think our batters kind of speak itself. We probably will pick the same top six. It's the number 7 spot that we must decide. Vian, Senaran, Corbin, who are we going with? Who's Coach Shukri going to back the most? Because you want these players to still develop and you want them to still improve. But I think there, even though there are quite a few things we need to think about, even though we've got such a great batting attack and a batting setup and batting depth, I think that's where we are, where some of our problems are at the moment with regards to confidence and consistency. I think I'm pretty happy with our way our bowling attack has been operating. Whether we're chasing, whether we're bowling first, I think they've conducted themselves pretty well. But I think from a bowling perspective, I think that's where we need a little bit of help um, in improving it. And I think Coach Higgins needs to bring the best out of us. So I just want to read this article that we wrote from the Ashwell Prince press conference. The headline we went with is, if you fancy it, put your foot down. So Prince backs Proteas' fearless approach. So this is the article. I'm going to read it out to you guys. Proteas batting coach Ashwell Prince says South Africa's batting unit will be encouraged to show intent in the upcoming ODI series against England starting on 2nd September. South Africa arrived in England off the back of a 2-1 series win in Australia, where a number of batters made starts, but none converted into centuries. For Prince, though, runs on the board matters more than personal landmarks. Maybe a little bit disappointing that nobody went on to score 100, Prince admitted. But to be honest, the focus is more on making an impact. We don't necessarily want somebody who's in the 70s and 80s to have just 100 in the back of his mind and sort of nursing himself towards that. We want to try and encourage particularly those guys in that phase of the innings that if they fancy it, they put their foot down, and sometimes they will go on to get 100. And if they don't, if they bomb out, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Batting with intent, still keeping the run rate up. That's kind of how Australia approached it, even though they didn't really get to those milestones, but they kind of kept the same approach. Prince explained that South Africa's aggressive blueprint under head coach Shukri Conrad means players will be pushed to exploit opportunities, especially before the final power play. If you're not feeling good and you want to take it on, by all means do so, he said. The philosophy filters down to individual players. Ryan Rickleton, who has battled for rhythm since returning from a break, has been urged to rediscover his natural aggression. Most of the communication is about trying to free people up, Prince said. Rickleton is naturally a positive player, but if anything, from Shook's point of view, he might want a little bit more aggression. Sometimes it can take time for people to settle into that mindset and style of play, but we do encourage that. That's very, very key. That is very, very key. The same applies to Tristan Stubbs, who has shown flashes of brilliance, but has struggled for consistency. And that is a big factor that we're talking about. And that's very important that we talk about that. Sometimes you can get a little bit clouded in terms of your approach, he said. We're trying to encourage him to be a little bit freer, to be a little bit more positive, to be the guy who kind of bursted onto the scene in terms of his style of play. We want to see that old school Tristan Stubbs again. With Matthew Breedsky informed, Tony De Zorzi knocking on the door, Prince says that the competition for batting spots is healthy, but the message to all remains the same: play with clarity and intent. When we compare the two formats, when we have our meetings with the players, we try to illustrate that the 50 over game, there is still an element of batsmanship, a little bit more like a test match type of batting, Prince explained. We're not saying we're going old school style, but we do recognize that when you start your innings, you still have to apply yourself like it is a test match, especially against two new balls, against proper bowling. And then, when the opportunity presents itself, be encouraged to play freely, put your foot down. So those are all things that are very important, that I think was very important for me to share with you guys with regards to our batting style and the mentality that Coach Shukri and Ashwell Prince is trying to instill into the squad. So I think that's important. And then when it comes to the bowling, I think this is something that we also need to maybe think about and talk about. And I think that um, it's interesting to hear what Pete Botha, our bowling coach, has to say. What do you think? What he thinks about the game and how he's thinking about the coaching of this team and his bowling attack. So the main headline I picked out of this one was that he said Proteas blessed with bowling depth. Bosch is key at the death. That's also very important to understand. So if a Proteas bowling coach, Pete Botha, says South Africa's growing pool of fast bowlers is a privilege, not an obstacle, as they continue to build towards the upcoming World Cups. Kagiso Rabada being closely managed, Lungi Ngidi rotated, and Nandre Berger and Gerald Coetzee returning from injuries. Botha believes the variety of options now available gives the selectors flexibility to tailor combinations. I'm just privileged to have such a big group, Botha said, because the nature of international cricket now is there's always a management of players. The last series we had to play Lungi in 2 games and someone else in the third just to manage him because the England series was also coming up. Then you get the odd injury that you also have to manage. So I think it's a blessing to have a big group because 2 years ago it wasn't the case, and that's something that they need to get credit for. This management team, they've put together a big group of players here, first team players and players that can replace. I think it's backups basically, but also there's a proper pool of players developing over here, and anybody that gets put in can go at any time and perform. He says one of the biggest success stories has been Corbin Bosch, who quickly became trusted option at the death with his ability to deliver Yorkers. He's got this unique ability to land a Yorker, and for a long time, we've searched for someone who can do exactly that, Botha said. He proved in the T20s to be very effective with that. Even if you get hit once or twice trying, it's to and keep believing, stick to it and keep believing in that process. We've now brought into the 50 over format too. And when the game gets to the point where we need to bowl at the death, he's certainly the guy who can do that role for us together with someone like KG and Lungi. So that's the direction they're looking at when it comes to someone like him. The Proteas have also been boosted by Berger's strong return after struggling in the first ODI in Australia. The left armer struck back with control and pace in the second. Very pleased because obviously he struggled a bit in the first one, but came back superbly well and bowled a superb spell up front. Porter said, the first 10 overs are so crucial, and I think he set the tone really well there. Then he went on to say there remains uncertainty over off-spinner Brennan O'Brien, who was reported for a suspect action on debut. Botha accompanied him to the testing in Brisbane and is optimistic about the outcome. The update we got from them is they have to submit all the info to the ICC, and then the ICC will give us an answer within the next 7 to 14 days, he explained. It was very professional, and from what I saw, it will be a surprise to me if he doesn't make it. Looking ahead to the ODI series in England, Botha expects pitches to be slower at this time of the year, but believes the bowling group is well equipped to adapt to that. So bear that in mind with regards to conditions. In general, we do expect wickets to be a little bit wary because of they've had full seasons on most of them. At least at Leeds, for example, the big square boundaries and slower pitch can bring a certain game plan into play. It's about analyzing the ground and having the right options. He says for Botha, that every game remains part of a bigger picture, building confidence and combinations on the road to the 2027 World Cup. For us, every season is very important to look at combinations, but also to get the confidence of the team there, he said. The only way to get that confidence is to get used to the combinations, and if you can do that, then you've taken the next step. Okay, so that is Botha. And I like what he said there. I think it's brilliant. And we now have an understanding of what the batting and the bowling coaches think about this, about our squad, about our game, about the team, etc. So next is Temba Bavuma's press conference. I think we should react to that. Maybe perhaps he gives us the team. Sometimes he does that. So let me just try and find it quickly. I'm sure I downloaded it. I mean, I definitely downloaded it. Where the hell is it? Um, ah, here we go. Why? Okay, I'm just gonna re-download this quickly, guys. So just bear with me. I don't know why it's not downloading. Why it didn't download, I have no clue. Strange things have happened. Strange things have happened. While I'm waiting for that, let me just get into some of your comments. So, see, it is here. I just don't understand why. I don't understand why it's not playing. Why are you not playing, sir? Why are you not playing? And you know what the crap thing about this is that I can't really test this beforehand. That's the crappy thing about it. Hey, I don't know what happened there. It's working now, guys. Stupid, stupid thing. Come on. What's going on today? What's going on, guys? Hey, technical difficulties, eh? So I can close that thingy. Okay, let's have a listen.
Yeah, it was good times a couple of months ago, but yeah, good to be back in England. How are you all shaping up? Are you bringing a fully fit squad here? Are you going to be able to choose from a full back tomorrow? Looking forward to the next 2 weeks. We are still managing certain guys from a workload injury point of view. Chris, our brother, Matthew Brisker, they're still on that workload management, as they call it. In terms of the team tomorrow, we do have a team. Same opening pair, Aiden and Rickleton up top, myself at three. Tony comes in at four. Tristan subs at five. Brevis, he's at six. Milda seven. Bosch at eight. Keshav at nine. And Nandri and Lungi fighting at 14 and then. And in terms of workload management, are you going to play all games, or are you going to manage yourself as well? I'd like to.
Can you guys please put that in the live chat? What the team was, please, for me. If you can, that would be really helpful. If I heard correctly, it was Aiden Markram, Ryan Rickleton, Temba Bavuma, Tony DeZorzi, did he say Tristan Stubbs?
In terms of the team tomorrow, we do have a team. Same opening pair, Aiden and Rickleton up top, myself at three. Tony comes in at four. Tristan Stubbs at five. Brevis, he's at six. Milda seven. Bosch at eight. Keshav at nine.
Okay, so they're going with Mulder and they're going with Corbin Bosch. And Maharaj.
And Nandre and Lugi.
Nandre and Lungi. Yeah, so this is what's nice about me doing a live show with you guys and reacting to the presses, because I hear about it first. and I don't look at the news because I want it to be raw and fresh. I would have absolutely loved. So thank you, NY Times Square, for putting it up. So this is the team for you guys: Markram, Ryan, Temba, Tony, Tristan, Brevis, Mulder, Bosch, Maharaj, Berger, and Ngidi. I obviously wanted to see Matthew Brzezinski at number 4, but according to Temba, they're managing his workload. He did pull up a little with a little injury in the last game, so I think they're managing his workload with regards to that to make sure that he doesn't get super injured. But that now gives Tony DeZorzi another opportunity to perform. And it's going to be very important for him to do so if he wants to try and fight for a spot, because at the moment, he hasn't been in his best form.
Fighting it for 10 and 11.
And in terms of workload management, are you going to play all games, or are you going to manage yourself as well?
I'd like to. Look, I'm still under the medical protocol. I guess in terms of guys who come back from injury, I'm kind of easing them into the games. So yeah, look, I feel confident in my body. I think the medical team, they taking that responsibility, but I guess yeah, we'll take it just game by game. I'm quite confident in physically where I am.
And in terms of that Australian series, how positive was that, and what sort of confidence do you take from that series and performances the guys played?
Yeah, I think firstly winning away from home, that's never an easy feat. So I mean, we won't look past that. We wanted to win the series, and so we did that. I think it's obviously shown that there are areas within our game that we still need to improve. Let's say we're far from where we are. So look, this series will give us another opportunity to improve on the other facets within our game. The younger guys coming into the team, giving them more opportunities to see the extent of the role that they can fulfill within the team. I think just make sure that we keep winning as a team while we're working towards where we'd like to be. So, yeah, good series, positives. I think there's also opportunities for us to learn from our mistakes.
Um, you were in Queensland a week ago. How's the jet lag? How's the head? Like, how crazy busy time to be there?
Sound is very
Yeah, thank
poor.
you guys. We've gotten over the whole time zones and jet lag. I think it was easier coming to the UK, coming this side. Had a couple of days of rest. So you know, really the guys are ready to get going. Boys enjoy a UK tour, so you know that's obviously fun, and obviously the cricket as well. Expected to be tough as well as always. Yeah, we'll try and make it as fun as it can be.
Is it easy to keep your focus and maintain the right, I guess, focus and attitude for international cricket when you're travelling so much and you know, having to deal with changes, conditions and seasons?
Yeah, I think that's the challenge of international cricket, right? You're playing in different conditions, so you know the conditions. The game is always asking different questions of your game. There's a responsibility on you as a player is how you adapt your game, and you obviously want to see yourself being successful in the different conditions. So I don't think that changes. And obviously now with all the cricket that's happening throughout the year in all the different parts of the world, guys, I guess always have one eye at what is happening in the hundred with the final happened yesterday. There's obviously the auction with the SA20. So I guess there's all those good distractions that the guys have to deal with. But yeah, that's the life of an international cricketer. Traveling, I guess, is nice, especially for the younger guys. But for the older guys with the families, it can get a bit tough. Yeah, I think it's just part of the package, I guess.
A couple of young players in the squad who we haven't seen.
Are you guys a little bit concerned about the fact that we're nursing injuries so soon into Coach Shukri's tenure? I wonder what you guys think about that.
Here so much. I guess Quinn has the might be an exciting player to emerge over this next few weeks. What can you, how would you describe him to us?
Yeah, like you said, exciting. Lots of talent, abundance of talent. Probably more on the raw side, you know, which makes it even more exciting. I think obviously here in England, especially if the clouds are in play, you know, you could get the ball to swing. I think it's a bit more He's a bit more awkward to face than other lefties. Um, I think he's one of the guys in terms of managing, trying to provide there's enough resources to him and opportunities to really go on and be something special for the country. He's been managed. I think he's been managed quite well. He came in within the T20 space, got an opportunity in the Test space, now in the one day space. So I think for him, it's just a case of him kind of growing, becoming his sponge, learning as much as he can from his own experiences and from guys around him. But yeah, lots of talent there.
And so you've two players that have been on here playing the 100 in Donovan Ferreira and David Miller have been playing really well. They're in the T20 squad, they're not in the ODI squad, I think I'm right in saying. What is the situation there with them? Are they just not picked?
I can't speak about the T20 stuff. And Aiden, who's here, please ask him. But I think in the 50 over stuff, look, I mean, a guy like David, what I understand is that those type of communications were done during his contract times in terms of him being available during this period for the 100. So essentially, he wasn't available for selection. But I stand by correction around that. Donovan, obviously, he's a guy that's done well domestically within the T20 space, and he's been rewarded with that selection for this the UK T20. So I'm sure if he keeps on piling on those with those performances, he'll start putting the selectors myself under pressure. I mean, we do have guys like Stabo in the middle order, Tony now, he's also um, going to be playing that role. Obviously, a young Brevis as well, who's there, Matthew Bretzka. I think these are guys who have been doing well for a longer period than a guy like Donovan. But yeah, just makes it more exciting having a guy who can, like him, who can do what he does with the ball. I think it well keeps all of us batters under in check. Got a guy like him who's hot on our heels.
So would David have had to have played in Australia to be able to be available for this? Because this is from after the 100. Sorry, I appreciate it.
Not necessarily. So I think the Australia tour would have coincided with the 100. So I guess any international commitments that occurred during the 100, David wasn't available for. So fortunately, the one day it clashes. He wasn't part of our build-up. But then with the T20 stuff, the 100 is done. He'll fall back into the team. Um, yeah, then I guess he prepares for with the team accordingly. David still within the mix within the ODI stuff. If that answers your question.
Okay, so we know that as well, that David is still in the mix for ODI stuff. I know I see some of you guys speaking about maybe you don't understand why they're resting, but the Matthew situation is a unique one. I don't think they'd be resting batters in general. I think this is a unique case because I think he picked up a little bit of a issue in the last game. So I don't think he's on 100% fully fit. And I think they're a little bit worried about that. And if you know Matthew Bresky's personality, you'd want to play regardless, because that's the type of personality he is. He'll fight through anything. So I think they just want to make sure that he doesn't get a long-term injury and then he's out for months, So I think from that point of view, they want to do that. I'm surprised that they're not giving Luandre Pretorius a chance, but at the same time, I'm not, because I think it's England, the first game. I think it would be better rather to give Luandre maybe an opportunity in maybe game 2 or game 3 if they don't play Matthew Brzeski. Because, I think because you also want to get winning momentum and try and win. And Tony is quite familiar with the conditions in England now. He's been there. He's been with Proteas a few times there now, so he should understand a little bit more about that. And yeah, let's see what he can do. Let's support the guys that have been selected. I don't. The Brzeski resting point of view is not. I don't think it was. I don't think it was on because they wanted to do it. I think it was forced because he didn't field in the last game, if you guys remember correctly. So I think there is maybe a little injury issue there that they're just worried about, and they don't want him to now exert himself and get like major hamstring injury or something, or ACL, whatever the case may be, and then he's out for like months on end. So I think that is the thought process of that. And I know that the audio file quality is not that great, but I can't help that. It's what we've been given, and I try to make the questions louder, but it distorts it so badly that it's even worse. So I've left it as is.
Can you just talk us through the last week, please, since Australia? I mean, did you guys get to go home before coming here, or have you just come eventually straight?
Yeah, so we've been just over a week from Cairns. We travelled to the UK. We obviously have been based here in Leeds. First couple of days has been more about the guys recovering, getting over jet lag. And we've had our practice sessions, gym on the field, bit of leisure for the boys, golf. Some of us went to watch the football. Yeah, that's been the week.
You guys watch football?
Yeah, I'm a Liverpool fan. Yeah.
Enjoy it?
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, they went to Anfield. I know they went to Anfield.
Liverpool Arsenal game. Thanks to Ashwell Prince, yeah, he managed to organize something.
Temba, in terms of the context of this series, is it all about building up to 22nd World Cup for you guys?
Yeah, I think that's the bigger picture. But I think probably as much as that's the bigger picture, this is what's important now. Like I said, we have conditions that are different to what we're accustomed to at home. And we want to make sure that we can adapt as well as we can to these conditions and play close to our best. So, yeah, I think as much as the T20 2027 World Cup is there, but we'd like to bring ourselves back to here and what we need to do to be successful in India.
Okay, yeah, not really much said there. To be honest, that the main thing was just the team's review. Sarah says Rickleton is flying under the radar for some time now. Very soon he will be picked up. Will be picked up if he doesn't perform. He is completely out of form, he says. Tabo says, if Brzezinski wasn't fit and concerned, why did they select him for the tour in the first place? I don't understand. Like I said, I think I can only go with what Temba said. And he's saying they're managing their workloads and stuff like that. And I'm putting two and two together to see that he wasn't so great in the last, but he might not be fit for the first one, but he might be fit for the second one. And I know it's just a couple of days in between, but that extra bit of training and looseness and massages and on the table does loads for a player. So I think that's maybe why. I don't know what the truth is. I can only report on what has been said. And based on what they've said, that's what I got from it. That's what I'm trying to understand. And for me personally, I would have liked to see I would like to see Luandre at some point get an opportunity in ODI cricket. And hopefully we can be in a situation where we've won the series 2-0 and then we can, in the third game, we can play Luandre. Feeling sad about Brzezinski, deserves a better country. What are you talking about? Brzezinski's gotten plenty of opportunities. I think he's the number one person that they want to look at for the number 3 position. That's what this has got nothing to do with what you are saying about. Do we still have? I really didn't think that by September 2025 that we still had bloody people that are talking about the quota system here. Like, can you just get over that, please? Because I mean, it's pretty clear that we haven't been really adhering to those rules so strictly. Coach Shukri has picked people on merit 100%. I mean, we just won a World Test Championship final. So, and we're not really adhering to those particular formats. So stop looking for reasons to bash us. If you want to support South Africa and support every single player. Now, I don't want to do this again. I thought I was over this in the comment sections of talking about the bloody quota system. Honestly now. Blitz says, has Donovan ever played an ODI for us? I don't think so. Dex says, Khalid, De Zorzi in the middle order isn't a good idea. Either open with him or don't play him. We need a boundary hitter in the middle order, not a nudger and flicks. Yes, they're saying they're working with the players and stuff like that. I've seen there's been times when Tony De Zorzi has been attacking. There's a confidence issue there that I feel that is holding him back. And maybe they are trying to get him into form as well because it would be better to have more players in form than not. Sam says rather than we giving learning platform to Proteus to Tony to be the middle order, let use proper middle order batsmen who could have already tried and tested. What do you think about Rickleton Khalid? He's not been performing at all in the recent past, and looking at the way they struggle against spin, tour to India will expose them. I think we need to give this, guys, I think we need to give this squad some time together. They've, with under the, because you can't drag previous form under other coaches and combine them together with these coaches. You can't do that. I see that people doing the same bullshit with Man United at the moment. They taking what happened before under Ten Hag, for example, and what happened last season before the changes were made. Last season was a write-off season. Amram came in halfway through when he didn't want to, and it was almost impossible for him to turn a team into playing his style of of football without a preseason and without the players he needed. And now yes, people are taking those results and adding it to this year's results and then clumping it all together as one. You can't be clumping what happened under Boucher or under Rob and put that all together and then add it to Coach Shukri's tenure. You reset after you get a new coach. It's a new culture, it's a new setup, it's a new intent, it's a new way of playing, there's a new players. We reset from now and we see. So we need to give players, as many players, opportunities as possible to prove themselves. I do think that Coach Shukri has settled on Matthew Bretsky as his main number 4, sorry. That's where I think he's going with it. But I can only go on what Coach Temba said. I mean, what Captain Temba said about managing workloads. And I remember him not fielding and him being a little bit injured. I mean, every single ODI he's played, he scored a milestone. So he's been at the crease for hours. So there might be a concern over there. Sarah says, Tony at 4 doesn't make any sense. Luandra should play. Do you think? I also thought Luandra should have played. But for me, also, Luandra is an opener. So I would rather play a more senior guy in the number 4 position than throw Luandra at 4 when he's an opener. If you understand where I'm going with that. If Luandra gets an opportunity in ODI cricket, I want to see him bat in the power play. It should be between him and Ryan Rickleton at the moment, I think. To be perfectly honest. Tex says Ruben making waves. Okay, Priyanshu, tell me which black players in the team don't deserve to be there. Out of the 4 that you're mentioning, how many of them don't deserve to be in the team? Tabo says Ruben Herman, and if you Ruben Herman is in sublime form, so Tony Rizos is under pressure to score big runs in the series. Otherwise, he's going to Pakistan because the Herman brothers won't want his place in the test and the ODIs. They do. Wilbur says, did we just not beat Australia in Australia? The chat is acting like SA is the worst team in the world. Exactly, Wilbur. I don't understand it. It's irritating me at the moment. So I'm gonna sign off. I've given you my preview. I'm supporting the team that is being selected. I hope that we beat England. I hope that that the players that have been out of form come into form so that we have more options in the future for the World Cup. And I really hope that we have a good game and then we're not sitting here in the review show tomorrow night, late at night after I've covered this whole thing, that we don't sit in a situation where we are down and talking about the defeat. So yeah, anyway, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I'm signing out now, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. See you guys tomorrow for the review show. It will be late at night, so sorry to the Indian viewers. You won't be probably awake. But I'm going to try my best to I'm gonna be doing it directly after the game. So that is something that I was okay, Priyanshu, you are just going to be fucking banned. Bye bye. If you're gonna be a dick on the show, then you can please go take your comments elsewhere. Go comment on your own channel somewhere else. Bavuma doesn't deserve to be in this ODI team. That's total nonsense. If you look at his record in ODI cricket, he's been pretty good. One of our best batters in ODI cricket. So I really don't agree with that. And Lisa, you're 100% right. We need to support the team no matter what. But I'm signing off now because that really irritated me now. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for the review show. Take care. Enjoy the rest.